Assalamualaikum semua and welcome to another episode of Great People TV with me, Ben Ibrahim, and my wonderful host, my partner in crime, Hana Ismail. Nah, apa khabar? Sehat?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good. Been a very busy job started to come in now that new normal, that's slowly come in. So,
Endemic.
tapi Alhamdulillah, getting used to it.
That's right, that's right, that's right. And now, as usual, we just want to remind all our viewers, thank you for tuning in, but don't forget to please press like, subscribe, share the Great People TV button, not just on Facebook, but on YouTube as well. Betul tak now?
Betul, jangan lupa untuk like, subscribe dan juga share kami di Facebook Great People TV dan tolong war-warkan kepada mereka dekat luar sana untuk terus tonton episod-episod kami yang sebelumnya. Sebab apa, kami ada banyak sebenarnya individu-individu yang best yang pun kami tampilkan untuk inspirasi anda, insyaAllah.
That's right, inspirational indeed. And one thing that is also inspirational is that we have a giveaway. Yes, that's right. We have a sponsor, a client for Great People TV. So, AccuAnswer, stick around and stand a chance to win an AccuAnswer ISO 4-in-1 multifunctional blood glucose meter. A great device. Thank you very much, AccuAnswer. But at the end of our show today, you have to answer a particular question. If you answer that question correctly, you will win the giveaway prize. Right now?
Betul. Jadi jangan lepaskan peluang. Tunggu sampailah ke hujung rancangan kerana anda berpeluang untuk memenangi AccuAnswer ISO 4-in-1 Multifunctional Blood Glucose Meter. Nanti cara-caranya akan kami umumkan sebentar saja lagi. So stay tune, okay?
So stay tuned. But right now, it gives us great pleasure to welcome our guest, the former MITI Minister of Malaysia, Tan Sri Rafidah Aziz. Tan Sri, apa khabar? Sehat?
Hai, Alhamdulillah, sihat.
Assalamualaikum.
That's right. That's right. Fantastic to see. Thank you, Tan Sri, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us here tonight and our viewers. But Tan Sri, we'll get straight into it. The topic tonight, the Malaysian economy, your feedback, your views. Now, I just want to start the discussion by asking, let's roll back the years a little bit historically. You know, in 2018, a very, very historical moment in Malaysian history. A new government came in, and let's be very frank and honest, they didn't last very long. They weren't around for very long. In your personal opinion, how did you rate their performance economically during the running of the country from 2018 to?
I don't think you should rate, based on that small face. And it's not even the elections that brought this government in. Kan? They call it backdoor government, kan?
That's right.
It's not with the mandate yet. So you cannot count lah. Benda ni tak boleh lah. It's like I go to your house, I take over your house. So what was there already, you go and destroy it. Tak boleh pakai lah kan? So it's a different scenario. What you must look at is over a long term. Let us say, at the time when we were at the height of our achievements, we were one of the Asian Tigers. You remember? I think you were still in school.
Yep.
Now that was reflective of the government of the time and the government before that built a strong foundation, where each time the government came in, they started building after every elections, right? So happen it's the same government, kan? After general elections, they built along the on top of the foundation that was there before and continued building until we were right up there. You know the narrative, tak payahlah I nak sebut-sebut lagi. Well, I happen to be there lah, putting in a few bricks here and there lah, tolong as a team, right? But suffice to say that we had the kind of direction placed in order to go forward. And the most important, the rakyat understood. Even during when we had the 1997 crisis and so on, kan, the rakyat were with us, the government, trying to bring back the economy onto the rail track, put it that way, and so that we can move forward. Because we were -2 at one point of time, because of the Asian financial crisis, and not to mention in the 80s we had the oil shock. So it's not like we don't have problems. We had the 1970s. I was there already. Itu Hussein Ormia time, where inflation was double digit, never ever before. So in other words, because the governance of the country was solid and good, and the planning was not just pure planning, but planning with an understanding how to implement what they want to do. In other words, you plan, you set targets, and there were the measures that were put in place, how to achieve those, whether it is the quantitative, GDP, what a target of export investment, doesn't matter, whatever, and the qualitative, like for example, reducing disparity of incomes. You see, that's very important too. what's the point of having growth when it's not distributed right down the line, and people, kalau yang very low income still there, their real income is in fact lowered because the salary minimally rise, but tapi there's inflation, cost of living is higher. To be fair, that what's happened everywhere. Once you have this bustling economy, somewhere there'll be inflation to be expected. But then you must understand that there are policies that you should put into place to make sure that these lower incomes group are buffeted, they call it, against any serious dislocation resulting from external factors. Now we have COVID. So I would like you to see in the longer perspective. Dulu, why did we achieve all that? I can say in one sentence, it is because of the governance that didn't depend on votes in the parliament, governance by the government that were not looking over their shoulder to see who was going to abscond and frog leap somewhere. You know what I mean? There was no worry because there was full support. It's a Barisan Nasional, it's a coalition government, remember?
Yep.
Multiracial. Yeah, that was passed before they were really not in sync. We sacked them. I was one of those in the Majlis Tinggi because we said it's not the way to go. Right?
Yep.
Now, you see, the key to it is governors that know what to do, governance that can move forward. Now, today we have a caca merba because this is not a government that went to the public to get the mandate. They among themselves form a government. The people that were rejected, the individuals, the parties that were rejected by the people were brought in through the back door. So you see, again, when you have that kind of situation politically where there is instability, there is uncertainty about who's going to leave you, and vote against you, for example, and therefore you lose your resident majority, you can't really plan objectively.
That's
The
true.
planning would be to attract votes, to make people sedap hati, halua telinga, they call it halua telinga, makna nice to say, we build you low cost homes. People can't even pay the rent, you nak bayar home pula, brand new homes. The people are losing jobs, so who's going to buy those so-called low cost homes?
Betul.
So things like that. Jadi macam itulah problem sampai ke hari ni.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The governance of the country is not on solid ground.
So, Tan Sri, as a person who has seen Malaysia evolve in the good time, like you said, the good times, during the 90s, and has hit a lot of milestones. You've seen Malaysia.
In the 90s. I was in the 70s.
Yeah, you've seen Malaysia. Like you've seen Malaysia grow really well. But when you said just now, that was not really a government; it was a backdoor government. And when it was formed that way, how did it make you feel?
It made me feel very sad because we did not factor in the mandate of the people. The people voted in a coalition, tapi because of internal problems and because they wanted to bring in the extraneous matter, nak bawa masuk PAS and so on, which people rejected. So some parties, some individuals refused to join that. It's a matter of principle. Katalah kita bertiga ni, we form a government and people accept because through the election kan. Suddenly, I pandai-pandai, I panggil orang yang dah kalah tu, kan masuk sini.
Betul.
They were not voted in. So we have to be very objective about it. It's not a question of personal choices. We take care of the rakyat. Otherwise, what's the point of having so-called democratic elections?
Betul.
Nah,
Tan Sri, tadi Tan Sri ada bagi tahu kan, bila golongan B40 tak ada buffeted kan, it's not buffered, tidak diberikan, bukan setakat golongan B40 saja, sebab kalau kita nampak post-COVID ni sebenarnya, walaupun hakikatnya slowly ekonomi sedang berjalan, tetapi seriously, a lot of people are struggling and still struggling up until now.
Yeah, okay.
And I can feel the
Itulah,
struggle as
saya
well.
punya
Apa salahnya sebenarnya?
Perhatian saya macam ni. Okeylah, kita baru umumkan rancangan Malaysia ke berapa 12 ya. Okey? But itu semuanya banyak plan. Maknanya kita akan buat, ini yang akan buat to do your wish list. It's your bucket list, so to speak kan. Macam saya lah bucket list nak panjat gunung Everest. Kaki tak boleh jalan banyak-banyak. Macam itulah. Kaki lutut besi. So the same thing with the 12 Malaysia plan. Bukan main cantik bunyinya, tapi kita mulakan sama ada bajet tahun ini ataupun rancangan Malaysia ke-12 tu berasaskan kepada landasan negara dan dah retak. Bukan digetakkan, tidak, kerana COVID. COVID ni kita mesti lihat secara menyeluruh. Bukan saja recovery daripada COVID, itu satu je. Ini recovery daripada collateral damage COVID ni. COVID ni dia banyak, dia punya kerosakan dia bawa kan. Kerosakan kesihatan, mental, sosioekonomi dan ekonomi. Jadi sekarang kerajaan harus sebelum umum macam-macam, duduk bincang. Ini kalau nak bincang macam-macam orang dipanggil, tapi sebenarnya tak relevan nampak saya. Macam kita dah biasa dulu bila panggil orang yang relevan. Maknanya kalau swasta tu kan, association, maknanya it's a regular dialogue. Yang mana kita buat forensik. Ni macam doktor sikit lah. Buat forensik dari segi apa kesan COVID-19 ni kepada negara. Ekonomi, sosioekonomi dan lain-lain. Bila kita buat forensik, barulah kita nampak, rupanya kesan pada kesihatan. Jadi kerana orang sakit ni. Dan maknanya kita tinjau, adakah Kementerian Kesihatan ataupun sektor kesihatan tu telah dibagi cukup bajet untuk masa depan ni. Kalau berlaku lagi macam ni juga Allah, ada tak kemampuan dia? Hospital cukup tak? Begitu dah. Jadi maknanya masa ni lah nak menilai, kita tengok tak cukup hospital. Jadi pasal belanja banyak-banyak hospital yang cantik-cantik tu, yang kaca sana kaca sini, hospital yang fungsional. Ataupun kita kata, kita tak cukup tenaga kan, doktor tak cukup kerja 24 jam. Maka inilah masanya review medical doctors yang dah lulus tu. Janganlah buat kontrak dia buat sambil lewa kan. There's no such thing as surplus doctors, Betul tak? Begitu juga nursing. Jadi lihat sama ada gaji diorang ni setimpal dengan kehendak negara dalam masa kecemasan ni, supaya masa depan kita tak ada orang yang lari daripada sektor swasta, tak timbul soal tak cukup bed dan sebagainya. Jadi kalau kita buat forensik, itu dah kita tahu ya. Kedua, sektor kita buat yang mudah sikit, sosioekonomi. Kita tahu banyak yang dah suicide, bunuh diri, banyak yang penceraian beribu-ribu, banyak pula yang stres, mental stress. Maknanya sosioekonomi. Pasal apa? Bukan dia kerana dia stres begitu aja, hilang kerja macam you kata tadi, tutup kilang, tutup tempat kerja dia tutup, dah tak ada gaji dulu. Jadi kalau dulu ada makan, setengah orang ni dia baru kerja, baru 5-6 tahun kerja, manalah ada savings kan. Jadi bila berhenti gaji setahun lebih, dia yang daripada B berapa atas tu dah turun ke bawah, lebih ke bawah pada B40, tak ada pendapatan.
Tapi Tan Sri tadi cakap kan, Tan Sri cakap orang yang tak relevan tu. Faham.
Apa dia?
Tadi Tan Sri cakap orang yang tak relevan tu kan. Macam kakak nampak Prof Jomo pun banyak juga bagi pandangan dan solusi.
Campur macam tu, I hilang punya thoughts. Nanti ada cakap berapa dia patut buat lah. Jadi kalau you nak recover di ekonomi ni, maka tengoklah sektor mana yang affected. Which are the key drivers of economic growth. Ini tak ada comprehensive look tau. Dia macam merbah. Menterian kata kita nak buat ni, kementerian ni kata nak buat ni, tapi mungkin priority tak sebegitu tinggi. Tapi dia ada kementerian dia nak buat lah. Jadi tak boleh lah macam itu. Kita punya resources limited. Itu sebab saya kata buat satu kumpulan. Sebenarnya menteri dah ramai. Kumpulan tu panggil aja lah orang-orang pakar tu membantu kita kan. Pegawai kita ada. Tak payahlah konsultan dekat luar belanja lagi banyak. Jadi tengok forensik tadi. Saya dah kata, tengok mana damage. Barulah kita plan. Jangan plan masa depan seolah-olah kita ni baik. Selalahnya all okay kan. Maka bolehlah kita ambil growth. Kita target growth berapa sekian banyak. Investment sekian banyak. Trade sekian banyak. Itu dalam keadaan normal. Ini subnormal. Jadi mula dengan cara realistik. Itu sebab kata buat forensik. Barulah kalau kita buat Malaysia plan ke, nak budget ke, budget yang menasabah.
Betul.
Habis-habisnya budget giveaway je lah. Budget sedekah ramai-ramai kan.
Itulah.
Maaf saya cakap. Ini duit rakyat. Sama lah duit saya juga, bayar cukai kan. Jadi kalau kita buat budget nak menyenangkan hati orang, susahlah. Tak adalah budget tu menggalakkan perkembangan ekonomi atau membaiki sosioekonomi. Saya khawatir COVID ni punya side effect ialah jurang ekonomi antara kaum, antara kumpulan sudah semakin besar. The economic and socio-economic disparities have become wider. Apa yang dulu dah kita kecil kan, dah wider, much wider now. Itu tak pernah saya dengar pun bercakap, satu orang pun tak dengar. Talking about economic disparities resulting from COVID. Belum pernah dengar. Ada pernah dengar tak? You?
Dengar.
On economic disparities and socio-economic disparities. Ada pernah? Tak ada. Nobody's talking about. It's like, it's okay, kita naikkan B40, macam tak ada benda lah. Tak boleh lah macam tu. That's why I said, this forensik ni kena buat. So that realistic. Bila kita present budget, orang faham. Employment creation. Saya belum dengar lagi. Macam mana akan digalakkan balik. Guna tenaga. Ditingkatkan balik. Kita tak tahu berapa pun. Saya tak tahu sama ada orang buat kajian. Berapa beratus ribu orang yang telah lucut kerja dia. Unemployed. Dah berapa ratus ribu? Berapa ratus ribu? Juta sebenarnya. SME je dijangka hujung Oktober ni 150,000 tutup.
Yeah.
Itu kalau 20 orang, berapa tu? Tu je 3 juta. So maknanya, belum pernah saya dengar lagi. Mungkin saya tercicir baca, tak ada. Tapi tak ada. Berapa juta setakat ini unemployment, pengangguran akibat COVID. Mulalah daripada situ dah, kalau ada 5 juta menganggur, jangan kita nak buat rumah banyak-banyak pula. Low cost housing, tak payah. Carikan kerja dia dulu. Macam mana nak cari kerja? Kerajaan tak boleh buat cari kerja. Swasta. Siapa swasta? SME, kilang. Jadi adalah rancangan membantu sektor yang akan generate employment. Itu maksud saya. You follow from there lah.
Saya setuju dan ini menjurus pada soalan saya yang seterusnya. Sebenarnya kan kalau kita nampak kan, people like Prof. Jomo pun banyak bagi pandangan dan solusi. Tapi people in the government not listening or they know and just don't care sebenarnya.
Tak tahulah, saya nak buat delay kan berdosa pula kan. Tapi saya pun menjerit juga bercakap. Saya tak pedulilah dia dengar tak dengar. Tapi saya punya tanggungjawab sebagai orang luar ialah kalau kita ada 2-3 cadangan, kita kemukakan. Saya dulu menteri juga lagi lama kan, berpuluh tahun, 30 tahun. Tapi tak pernah pula kalau orang bagi cadangan. Bahkan saya minta cadangan swasta. Saya minta dialog saya berjela-jela. Quarterly dialog, monthly dialog, yearly dialog. Pasal different sectors kan. Jadi kita memang minta ni pandangan-pandangan bernas, proposal bernas supaya kita boleh susun satu dasar nak menarik investment, nak membanyakkan guna tenaga, nak menggerakkan ekonomi, sektor-sektor yang betul-betul boleh menggerak ekonomi. Jadi, kita tak boleh pandai dan kerajaan ni bukan pandai sangat. Minta maaf lah cakap, kita tak buat bisnes ni pun kita tahu kan. Tapi input daripada siapa lah? Kita daripada orang ni lah, chamber. Kan? Dewan. Macam-macam dewan di Malaysia ni. Orang panggil orang asing tu. Dia pandang dia ada dekat Thailand ada, di Singapura ada cabang dia. Panggil dia orang. Tapi tak panggil. Macam mana? Macam mana nak tahu?
Okay, Tan Sri, there's a question here from one of the viewers, Jeffrey Azrai. Said, Tan Sri, thank you for being here. What about FDI, foreign direct investment? There's an alarming trend that foreign investment is going to our neighbors. What should we try to do to re-attract FDIs?
Well, first of all, stop talking lah about those nice hundreds and billions investment because that's not real. Ini, if I tell you, insyaAllah lah, nanti lah data fikir dulu. That doesn't mean the factory is going to be up kan. In fact, you tanyalah MITI, tanya menteri dia. How many licenses manufacturing have they issued? Baru I boleh percaya. Tak pernah disebut berapa lesen dah dikeluarkan. Itulah benchmarknya. Kalau ada 150 lesen penghilangan di-issued masa setahun ni, barulah kita tahu berapa jutanya, ratus jutanya, ribu jutanya investment. Tak ada. Tak cakap pun lesen. Jadi lah, kan manusia ni kan tak nak bergaduh. You pergi Arab ke, dia pergi mana, come to Malaysia, insyaAllah, kata Arab tu. Saya dah biasa.
Used to it, yeah, Tan Sri.
Sebenarnya bukan Arab dia invest pun. They have their own investment managers, daripada Amerika, daripada advisors dia. Jadi saya tahu, saya jumpa lah advisors dia. Tu Arab ni kita jumpa kerana dia punya company. Tapi yang sebenar-benar bercakap tu ni orang yang dia import daripada masa dulu lah. Sekarang dia dah ada anak-anak muda dia. Yang masa saya dulu ni, cerita berapa belas tahun sudah kan. Dan kita pergilah kepada orang yang betul-betul menjaga investment dia.
Yeah.
Dan dia tak cakap insyaAllah tau. What they do is come here and tengok sendiri. Jadi kalau kita pergi, dia beradat, kata, yeah, yes, I'll think about it. Yeah, thank you. No, I'll come to Malaysia insyaAllah. Janganlah tulis buku, masuk 10 bilion. Tak boleh lah macam tu. Jadi, itu satu cerita. Jadi, stop talking about that.
Stop talking.
Make sure that, no, I mean to them lah.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah.
The first thing you do is make sure you evaluate environment kita ni. Menarik atau tidak. Bagi saya kalau political kita macam ini, very off-putting ya. Tak ada siapa investor yang teringin nak datang kat sini. Kan dia kata ini kan hari ni kita masuk, esok lain ceritanya. Dia punya rules tukar, goalpost dia tukar. Macam second home, Malaysia second home lah. Berpuluh tahun kita market orang punya seronok. They use us as a example tau. A country with a second home, my Malaysia second home kan.
Betul.
Saya tahu berapa puluh ribu tanya. I think 55,000 ke berapa ke orang yang dah macam buatkan negara ni second home dia kan. Lah hari ni dah kita minta pula dia ada berapa fixed account, fixed deposit. Dia bukan nak datang macam nak pergi Virgin Island sini. Buka account. Dia bukan nak lari daripada negara dia bawa duit. Dia nak duduk sini masa salji tebal kat sana kan. Musim panas kat sana, dia nak pergi tepi laut. Janganlah paksa dia bawa duitnya banyak. Kalau duit banyak kan dia duduk kat bank ni kan. You see, jadi kita tukar goalpost. Jadi yang dah duduk sini, dia jual kondo dia tau lagi. Saya tahu. Dia kata, why should I stay here? Kita cakap lah, no, you're not affected. Dia kata, today not affected. Next month, dia cover. See? So, that alone is one. Jadi, environment lain macam-macam ni syarat Bumi Putra yang dulu tak pernah ada, dah ada. Kita patutnya akan ease off Bumi Putra ni tau. Kurang kan emphasisnya kerana kalau Bumi Putra tu layak, percayalah cakap saya, non-bumi ke foreigner tu ambil je. Kan? Tak kita paksa dia, you must give 30%, 51% ke apa benda kepada bumi. Dia kata, it's my company. Who are you dictating? Hendaknya pula orang Bumi Putra yang political correction. Apa benda tak tahu bisnes tu. This competitive world, you know. Jadi ini environment. Tu kita tengoklah sama ada kita punya incentives to on par dengan orang lain.
True.
Macam you kata tadi lah Ben ni, orang tutup kedai. Lari ke lain. Bukan masuk, lari.
Betul.
Saya sedih. Kerana orang ni dah masuk sementara kami dulu menarik mereka. Dah puluh tahun duduk kat sini. Tapi akhirnya dia lari. Pasal dia money making, you know. Bukan charity. Ni bukan kerja yayasan. Ini
they're working
business.
for profit.
Yeah, making for profit. And secondly, in order to make profit, there must be an enabling environment. And at the moment, our environment is far from enabling. If I have to say, I sadly say so. But we don't want to admit. Unless we admit, we won't change.
Yeah. Now, Tan Sri, I just want to ask a question. You brought up the issue about the NEP and Bumi Putra. We're going to get to that a little bit later, but in terms of your opinion. But I want to ask about the three letters, MOC, Management of COVID. Now, I know you were quite critical of certain people in the last 2 years about the management of COVID, and nobody saw COVID coming.
No, Ben, you misunderstand. I don't criticize people. I criticize the measures, the policies. I don't care who they are.
Fair enough.
I mean, you see this, it becomes personal. No. It doesn't matter. They are faceless as far as I'm concerned. They're just governments.
Okay.
I'm looking at the impact of policies that are not coherent. Okay, kalau not coherent, ada impact yang negative. Okay, what was the point?
Yeah, the question is, what in your opinion, what did you think was done well and not so well? And like you said, it all requires planning, governance, long-term planning. What do you think is also, I mean, I'm giving you two parts of a question. What do you think is also missing in terms of the management of COVID in this pandemic? Not just Malaysia, but
Yeah, you see, sometimes we don't listen to the professionals. We don't listen to the people who are actually in the medical sector. They say this, for example, I know that for the medical side, they say, why don't we have the first very hard lockdown? where you really close everything, lepas tu you manage the vaccination as as thoroughly as possible, as widespread as possible. Jadi when you are opening the economy balik semula after the hard lockdown, maka the more people have been vaccinated, terkawal lah. Tapi kita tak buat. The first time, yes, hard lockdown. Tapi baru kejap je. Very kejap, right? And all went down. Lepas itu seronok buka sana, buka sini kan. And in fact, sampai ke cacah merbah yang kecil boleh. In fact, sometimes tak coherent. Misal kata exporting companies yang ada kontrak. I know because they complain dekat saya. Dia ada kontrak di Singapura dan sebagainya untuk deliver. And they have vaccinated their workers. Bagilah dia buka kan. Kerana dia kata orang tu dah threaten dia nak cancel kontrak. Saya bantulah mana saya boleh bantu. Tapi takkanlah every time dia nak satu orang. Why not make a policy? Export-oriented industries, you can open. Provided all vaccinated. All tested. Betul tak?
Betul.
Bukan dia kan within the factory. Dia tak berjalan betul-kata. So pagi you test. Besok pagi test lagi. Balik tu whatever you need to do lah. SOP. Very strict. Orang ni buat because they got millions of contract. Hundreds of millions. Some of them. What is a kid? You know what I mean? Janganlah kita treat yang kecil tu sama dengan yang multi-billion. Jadi when you do that, jadi market ekonomi tu jejas lah. Orang ni bawa export export revenue. Yang SME yang service dia tu you tutup. Macam mana dia nak buat end product? You know, talk about the value chain, right? Factory tu dia ada komponen daripada sini SME, dia ada services daripada another SME. Bukanlah Makcik Kia, I'm talking about SME yang 50 million and below by the technical definition. Maka kalau you paksa SME ni tutup, orang yang ujung habislah. They're selling globally. You see, that's what I mean by policy yang tak coherent. Tak berapa dipikirkan mendalam. Kita tengok along the value chain tu, siapa yang patut kita make sure tidak terjejas. Jadi bila kata tutup yang ini, yang kau ni kata, komponen aku macam mana? Dia punya finish product tak boleh buat. Jadi orang ni kata macam ini tak payahlah, kat Malaysia tutup je lah kilang. Kita pergi tempat lain yang faham yang mana kita nak bayar biar buka dengan bersyarat. Bukan saya kata open aja kan, vaccination, testing. Dan saya kata jangan buat mass vaccination. Ramai-ramai menunggu, sambil dia menunggu tu dia dapat penyakitan kan. Betul tak? Jadi pergilah, go in situ. Saya dah guna cakap macam tu. Saya kata pergi. Kalau factory yang lagi senang. You buat mobile unit kan. You nak suruh factory bayar pun dia bayar. Pada dia hilang berjuta, bayarlah duit nak testing. Dia betul sanggup. What is spending 2,000, 3,000 kalau yang 30 million business dia tu tak jejas. Tak buat. Yeah. Tak buat. Mobile. Nak buat juga mass vaccination center. Dah lah cluster kan. You see, that's what I mean. I tak tahulah. Jadi saya tak tahu siapa yang beridea. Tapi yang saya tahu ialah kalau medical tu dia nak hard lockdown first round dah biar-biar. Saya pun setuju. Jadi put in place the firewall. InsyaAllah tu maka turunlah dia. Macam Australia kan. Macam New Zealand punyalah hard lockdown. Lepas tu baru buka. Kalau buka semula pun taklah macam kita meletup kan. Dia orang satu orang COVID dia dah keluar international news. Betul tidak New Zealand?
Very true.
Itu pun orang masuk bawa. Bukan orang tempatan. Betul tak? Orang datang daripada luar negeri balik. See? So, kita kenalah. Ni sekarang kita buka ni. Tak tahulah SOP macam mana cerita kan. Kluster dah buka dah banyak balik. Dah macam cendawan lepas hujan.
Ya, so, peningkatan dalam 20-30%.
Correct. So, maknanya we are back to square one lah in terms of the collateral damage of the COVID. Saya takutlah besok tutup balik sekolah.
Yeah.
Tutup balik college, university. Jadi education setback for 2 years. Productivity down lah.
Ya. Tan
Ya.
Sri bercakap pasal statistik ni kan, saya ada statistik yang mungkin Tan Sri boleh komen kan. Menjelang 2030, Malaysia dijangka berstatus negara tua di mana
Alah,
15% dari penduduk adalah berusia 60 tahun ke atas.
saya ni pensyarah universiti 10 tahun tau. Mahyudin Yassin student saya tu. Anwar Ibrahim student juga. Ramai tu student saya. Menteri yang lepas. Maknanya don't talk statistic to me lah. Kadang-kadang statistik ni mengarut. Mengarut.
Tapi Tan Sri, soalan saya sebenarnya dari sudut ekonominya, bagaimana kita mempersiapkan diri dan apakah impak pada rakyat kita bila kita nampak akan lebih daripada 15% yang akan populasi kalangan golongan tua.
Wait. Bukan negara kita je yang akan aging population. Jepun. Aging dah berapa tahun dulu lagi. Tak payah tanya Rafidah Aziz. Pergi tengok kat Jepun siapa dasar dia. Macam mana special, macam mana special budget, special programs khas untuk senior citizens. Tak payahlah tanya orang kat sini. Pergi tengok buka. Pergi melancong selalu. Melawat sambil belajar. Tak ada dia melawat sambil melancong. I'm sorry lah kan. Mana negara yang tidak aging population? Tanya Tanya. Which tell me. Japan is the worst kan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tapi dia tidak risau aging population ni pasal dia tahu kalau technology can help.
Yeah.
They don't, dia boleh use the kata orang the optimum number of workers. Tak payah bertambah lagi kerana technology take the place of additional workers katakan ya. So this is being done. China, misal kata, it's not exactly young population, dia also worry tapi kita tengok macam mana dia buat ada polisi untuk the age. Sini tak langsung, nothing.
We're not preparing for that kan?
Tanya kalau I Perdana Menteri boleh I tanya bercakap kalau I Menteri. I have not heard about it.
That's the way I
Have
see
you
it, tak ada preparation.
I'm a senior citizen, I'm 78. I've not heard about anything to address the up 70 and above. Vaccination pun sibuk, belum selesai. Apatah lagi masih hidup masa depan.
Yeah. Now, Tan Sri, you mentioned just now about Bumiputra policy, new economic policy. It's always a sensitive topic in our society, but well, a lot of people see it as sensitive lah. But it was meant for poverty eradication. But in your opinion, now that Malaysia has evolved and like you said, people are smarter and everything, do we still need it?
Let me put it this way. When we started dulu, you have to understand how we started. When we started, there forensik lah. Buat forensik dulu. Rupa-rupanya Bumiputra out of the whole wealth of the country own only 1.9%. Tak sampai 2 pun. Okay? Bear that in mind. Lepas tu the Chinese own about 20 something like that, not even 30 lah masa itu. But the most of it was the foreigners. Dia orang putih from colonial time, the big plantation, the tin mine, you name it lah. So that was a very lopsided. But we cannot take orang putih punya bagi kat kita kan. So what do? We have to make the economy grow. So kita pergilah kepada manufacturing so that we can create SMEs to serve the manufacturing and so on. And services sector kan, encourage local SMEs. And of course the big ones, then kita boleh syarat 30% equity Bumiputra participation. Masa tu dia orang faham. Ada Bumiputra yang ada duit. Ada yang tak ada duit pun dia buat masuk lah. Because I think they feel that it is a sensible policy. Because that time memang 1.9% gila. Not even 2% ownership. I mean come on lah. Even the Chinese understood those days. Come on. Then we have a new generation of Bumi coming after that, right? With their own capabilities. And now tak payah cerita lah. Bumi yang, you name it, they're inside there. Some of them are all overseas kan, being champions for the country, right? In all kinds of studies. Tengoklah perempuan dan lelaki ada. Dia Bumiputra ni. So, in that new scenario where the generation is of young people who have self-respect, who have their own professionalism, their own knowledge and the capabilities, macam IT. Tak usahlah nak paksa juga 3% bumi, the bumi can set up 100% pun. on their own. But then the government comes in lah with some package of financing. Exim Bank apa benda lah maknanya. Bukan tak ada, bukan nak buat baru. Existing one, set aside. Macam dulu masa jaga MITI for SMEs. Masa itulah SMEs kan mostly Malays. Tapi we don't go by bumi, tak bumi. I'm just saying we happen to be mostly Malays yang kecil-kecil. So we set up a special fund including women entrepreneurs where either it is a fund with a 100% loan ataupun matching grants. Matching, okay, you put in $100, kita tambah $100. Something like that, in order to make your capacity bigger. So in other words, we recognize there are certain ways of helping them. Bukan dish out money tau. It is the business. Lepas tu, mana yang go into IT. We have special funding for the SMEs where we connect with IBM. We told IBM to do specialized applications those days for SMEs. Because they tak tahu, so we give them financing. Because they all criteria and they get. This is where every year, they will give awards and all that. But those were the days. No, tak payah pun. Because the youngsters are so bright already kan. They themselves can draw up the platforms. Correct? Dia tak payah IBM dah. Maknanya lah, they don't need to be driven by the big guys. They themselves can grow big. They can join venture together. Tak kira lah Chinese tak Chinese. Melayu tak Melayu. Join venture, IT people. Join venture 3-4 orang. Create, the unicorns. Malaysian unicorns. Tapi kalau kita sebut bumi, when in fact your best friend is a Chinese or an Indian kan? Or Sarawakian, Iban ke apa, who have the same university together. Tiba-tiba, this one must be 55% bumi. You nak buat masuk kawan tu nak bagi dia 10%, 20%. Padahal you know that these guys are real added value to your company. And these are non-Malays. Why are we encouraging them not to take in people like that? Yang kita tua ni, cakap banyak ni. You see? No, I'm serious. Yang make demand budak-buda.
True, betul.
If the youngsters make the demands, I can understand. But they don't want crutches anymore.
Okay.
It should be a credit to all of you, when your generation don't want these crutches. I'm very happy. Ini yang cakap geng-geng I ni. Bumi, dia ada business pun tidak.
So based on that, Tan Sri, do you think, again, personal opinion, do you think that, a generation of young Malaysians, regardless of race, very capable, coming into the workforce, entrepreneurial dreams, usahawan, all of the above, but some of them say, hey, wait a minute, it's not fair. It's not fair because of, Malays get this, we don't get this. Do you think that's a contributor to a lot of Malaysians and Malays as well wanting to move overseas?
Because if you give anything because of race, there will be that feeling.
Okay.
I am as good, if not better than him. Why am I not getting? I would feel the same.
Yeah.
If the principle of giving to the best, meritocracy, barulah nobody will complain. He deserves it. You don't deserve, misal kata. But that doesn't mean you remove completely lah from the scene kan, orang yang konon tak deserve. There will be the need to then give that special assistance. Bukan money. What is lacking? Mungkin dia punya support tak ada, technical support tak ada.
Supports, yeah.
You see?
Yep.
Why can't they go? Because dia tak ada hardware apa tak ada. Misal katalah. Things like that, it's not about giving everybody a computer. Ini I tak faham ni. Every child must have a computer. When the connectivity pun tak ada, nak bagi macam mana?
True.
It's like masa Korean War tu, masa kecil-kecil dulu kan, beli fridge. Masa getah naik kan, dia belilah peti ais fridge. Dia simpan je baju dalam tu. Tak ada electricity dekat kampung. That was our joke. Yeah, I'm not joking. Because income's very high kan, peti ais. Simpan baju buat almari lah.
Yeah, no, it's true, Tan Sri, because I feel sad sometimes that I see such talented Malaysians, migrating overseas, don't want to come back.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they're world-class Malaysians.
Of course. That's why I said, think Malaysian. And you give the deserving ones. Tak kira siapa. A poor Chinese, a poor Indian, a poor Malay, a poor Kadazan is still poor. Bila B40. Kenapa pilih B40 Melayu dengan B40 Cina? Why? Don't tell me COVID. No, Chinese with COVID, Malay with COVID. No. Treat them as Malaysians. Mana yang merit, bagi equal treatment. Barulah kita get the best. Whether in government, whether in private sector. Maknanya negara ni akan more vibrant. More vibrant. Maknanya competitiveness among themselves will drive level up, not level down. Let's forget about berapa ratus PhD nak keluar tiap-tiap universiti. Forget it. We are always talking about 629 berrekod. Ketawa dunia tau. Kalau universiti keluarkan PhD according to numbers. Tak pernah dalam dunia kita dengar 600 tahun. PhD apa ni? Dalam buat apa dia? Saya pun lecturer ke 10 tahun. Seksa tau orang nak dapat PhD.
It's hard work. No?
Yeah. So maknanya.
Tan Sri. I know, I just like your character, very honest, blunt, and kita memang tahu Tan Sri representation dekat parlimen pun macam tu. Tapi Tan Sri, soalan saya, women in parliament, are the numbers satisfactory and are they functional in your view?
Don't give me numbers game. I'm not in the numbers
No
game.
more numbers now. No more numbers.
Get the best people to be there. So
okay, but are they functional? Are they functional? And their voice is functional?
No, don't give me number. Dah 30% ni tak pakai dengan I. What's the point of 30% by numbers when sama dunggus? Please lah, tolonglah. Kalau satu perempuan pada 30 lelaki, dia boleh outdo dia 29 tu. That's better than ada 6-7 tu mengengek aja ataupun orang lelaki rejek dia kerana tak baca kertas. Buat apa? Minta maaf lah. But I'm sorry to say, the young ones are more proud than that. I seronok juga dengar pasal you must remember orang makin cerdik tau. Dia tak nak duduk situ kerana wanita. Dia rasa malu, dia semarah kan. Kalau saya lah kat dia, I think as a woman. I say forget it, you can dump it. Macam tu kan. You take me for what I can add in terms of value, right? Bukan kerana ambil jantina. Orang jantan dia tak akan cakap I take you because you're a man ada. Bangang pun dia ambil juga. Macam tu lah. No, kita ni kadang-kadang kita wanita yang menyusahkan badan sendiri. Kota apa?
Betul?
Kalau separuh wanita tu boleh ambil 50 lah. Apa 30 je? 100. Kan kita nak maju kan? Nak buat duit kalau bisnes. Asyik mengira hitung berapa wanita. Jangan banyak kerja lain lah. Dan kita pula wanita seronok. Oh, wanita ramai. Bercakap pun tidak kat board meeting buat apa? Nak kat board 30%. Karut lah.
No more stats now.
No more stats, no more numbers.
No
I
more
promise,
stats.
tak ada lagi dah.
Gunakan stats ni dengan cara realistik. Don't tell me lah, we're going to have 8% growth. You started with minus. Correct?
Betul.
Yes.
So, mana yang 8% you? Net je berapa? And kita, 8%. La ilah Allah. Kalau you 40 kilo you badan, besar ni, besar pensil ni I gain 10 pound. Ya, seperti ini 10 pound tak ada benda, 10 kg tak ada benda kan? Kalau macam I ni dah cukup lah ni. I lost 1 kilo. Kat mana? Kat rambut. Doesn't make any sense, right? Tak ada statistik lah.
Yelah, again, meritocracy.
Exactly, merit.
Here.
Keupayaan, kecekapan, kebolehan, kemampuan. Okay? Merit tu maknanya ada sebab dia boleh diletakkan di mana-mana.
Betul.
Dan jangan pandang dia perempuan ke lelaki, jangan pandang dia bangsa dia, agama dia. Tak ada kaitan. Itu kalau Malaysia nak maju ke depan lah. Kalau nak undur ke belakang, buatlah cara sekarang ni. Wanita tak boleh itu, tak boleh ini kan. Buatlah. Teruskan. Saya dah umur 78, lantak korang lah saya kata. Minta maaf lah kadang-kadang kami, geng-geng saya kan, yang maknanya kat 80, tak dengar cakap, tanggung. Anak-anak you all lah besok. Itu yang sudah yang geram. Ya, mak bapak saya dulu membantu membina kan untuk saya. Majulah kami. Kami buat pula untuk anak kami. Alhamdulillah syukur. Tapi bila time anak saya dengan cucu, alamak. Anak saya berisau. Macam mana lah anak dia, cucu saya. Tak nasib baik cucu saya dah besar. Kalau cucu kecil lagi, pengsan lah kan. Mikir, macam mana ni? 2 tahun tak sekolah ni. Ingat ke tidak lagi ABC dia? Ya, no. Dan kita ketawa, Ben. It's a real thing. The
No, it is.
virtual
It is
education is useless because we're
true.
not prepared.
True. I agree with you.
I
But
worry because once you have missed 1.5 years or 2 years kind of schooling or college, whatever, then you fall back in performance. And that will impact your human resource capacity for the future. And then people will then judge lah. Oh my God, interview. Ini nak balik-balik pada bahasa Malaysia pula kan. Parlimen macam, oh my God. The world is multilingual now. Dunia multilingual. Bukan saja dia cakap Inggeris. Dia nak cakap Perancis. Dia nak cakap Jepun. Perasan tak?
Hasan,
Mandarin. Kita
Korean.
nak cakap Melayu, Korea. Ya. Because kalau itulah yang boleh marketable kan. Dia belajar anak-anak muda kita. I'm talking about anak muda. So it's very nice to hear. Tapi the generation kecil ni, siap lah. Tak boleh cakap orang putih. You see how they put in the the blockages. Macam mana nak maju? Kita patut open the minds. Makin close lah.
question here from again another question here from Jeffrey Tan Sri, in terms of he understands your point that SMEs are the core contributors to the economy and factoring drive economic growth. However, as an example, Malaysia's recovery from the Asian financial crisis was helped by strong demand for electronics. Seeing that global demand for electronics exports has dropped, particularly due to the pandemic, in your opinion, what other sectors should the government focus on? That's a good question.
I cannot answer that because I'm not in government, satu. Keduanya, I dah cakap tadi the government should now do the forensics. That's what we did in the financial crisis. That's what we did in the 1980s punya crisis. We studied. As soon as it happened, they all shocked. We came out with the first industrial master plan,
I remember that.
Because that's the result lah. Because we say, oh my God, we cannot move on with plantation, with tin mine. This is not the way. All commodities semua jatuh kan. The collapse of the commodity prices. So we started really moving towards industrialization. Manufacturing terhadap lah sikit kan. Very simple assembly. We move up. Sampailah saat ini now. We are there. That's because we purposely put in an industrialization policy showing which area to give an incentive sekali lah. Bila orang baca dia kata okay kalau agak sini ni insentifnya ni. Nobody tak payah nak kena lecture, dia baca dia tahu dah. Oh, very welcoming Malaysia, right? Mission tu hanya nak seal the deal lah, put it that way. Kalau I pergi, kalau dia dah faham. Dia nak little basic facts. Saya bawa orang custom, dia tanya custom. Saya bawa orang income tax, dia tanya income tax. Tenang, from the horse's mouth kan?
Betul.
Saya bawa Deputy Director General Custom, Income Tax. Itu tax incentive kan? Kita bolehlah jawab, kena tengok dalam buku. Kan kita bukan orang cukai. Tapi bila ketua cukai datang, dia bagi. Faham manusia tu. Di Amerika baik, di Jepun baik. So you can imagine, they're so confident. Bos cek cukai bercakap ni. Bukan menteri. So that's how we do it. Civil servant kita pun tahu, my goodness, macam mana orang dakkan kita membantu dia kan. Dia bantulah. Macam foreign workers. Terangkan macam mana, what are the syarat, jangan bawa illegal.
True. Now?
You see, now they have not done it. They have not done the forensic.
The forensic lah, the science.
First of all, I just ask simple question. If you will ask now, how many unemployed now? Which sector? Elect or India kata. Secondly, how much exports have shrunken? And don't talk about US dollar value. Converted into Malaysian banyak lah because ringgit dah turun kan. Tengok volume. Jangan nipu diri. Kalau dulu 380 kan. Now 450 katalah at one point of time. Ya, $4, $4.20. Iyalah, the same $1 US has now become bigger in terms of ringgit. Or doesn't mean our export has increased.
Yep.
Right? The same pen. Same pen, only one pen sold. But it brought me more ringgit. Right? The price has not gone up. Same price in America. But because the exchange rate dah turun. You see? So bangga macam mana export tinggi. Tengok. So that forensic means you study whether it is volume, quantity or real net gain. Macam imports. Turun ke naik ke apa. Because exchange rate is very important. So that's what I mean by forensic. I tak tahu apa perkataan nak guna lagi dah. Forensic tu maknanya okay, bagus. Now ada economic recovery. Sakit ni kan, orang sakit ni. Okay, now recovery, doktor datang. Kalau tak study apa yang sakit dan diagnose apa yang sakit, nak bagi apa ubat? You tell me. Yeah, no, I just give vitamin to you. Mampus. Vitamin hand out, Cannot. Kalau sakit kepala lain, bunyinya kena pergi MRI. X-ray kan. Sakit belakang, tulang, slip disc, X-ray jawabnya. Sakit perut tak payah X-ray lah. You cari blood lah ke apa. Maknanya. So the same thing. We had now almost 2 years into the COVID lah. Ya, kata almost lah 2 years ya.
Almost 2 years, yeah.
Kalau buat forensik sekarang, barulah tahu. Barulah plan accordingly.
Betul. Tan Sri,
Not
forensik.
Mana seronok bunyinya kan, numbers.
Betul. Okay. I tak no numbers, I promise. Okay. Forensic is one thing. But how do we ensure good sound policy stick and is followed through despite change in government? Sebab tak ada siapa pun yang it keeps on changing and nobody is watching.
We need continuity, Tan Sri.
Siapa yang kita kena empower ni?
Listen. You see, a plan, if you katalah sama sekarang ya, dengan elections coming kan, don't know when lah. I am sure most of these policies are orientated towards elections. Pancing undi election. I'm sorry to have to say that. But every government have a tinge of that orientation, or popular lah kau kan. Bodoh lah government kalau tak ada nak menyenangkan hati voters. So when we do planning forward, voters tengok. Tapi our track record dulu had been realistic. You know what I mean? Kalau kita kata A tu, lama-kelamaan A tu capai lah. But ni belum ada rekod apa. Kita hidang je lah dulu. Belum tahu sakit perut ke tidak orang, tak payah. Tak apalah. Lepas election kita bincang. I'm sorry, I'm very cynical because so you ask me to analyse, that's how I do it. Because this is macam nak Melaka ni kan. Ni baru ni, Northern Special Committee to Discuss Development Northern ni. Kita ada Northern Economic Corridor. Apa cerita? Kenapa tak guna Northern Economic Corridor yang dah ada ni? With all the facilities, with all the incentives for investment. Nak tubuh komiti lagi, they didn't know it existed. Dia tak baca what is already available. Terperanjat saya. Kata, ya Allah, Northern Corridor ni dah lama hidup dia.
So are these people working in silos?
Not silos, chimneys. Silos are too big. Have you seen silos kan gambar? Ada pernah tengok kan? Kat Amerika nampak kan? They're huge, massive. No, not silos. Chimney macam ni lah. Buat kepala je. I'm sorry, I'm very cynical because you ask me to analyse. That's how I see it. I nak bagi gambaran lah because it is exasperating. We have so much potential. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
Malaysia ni bertuah tau. Malaysia ni bertuah. Potensi bukan main banyak. Some countries don't even have half of what we have. Dia ada merumut population. Miskin, kata-kata kan, tidur tengah jalan banyak kan. Kita gelandangan tu bukan orang kita sebanyakkannya kan.
True.
So, we are a blessed country. Tapi kalau kita ada orang yang governing the country tidak govern dengan sebaik mungkin, yang blessed ni pun kelang kabut. That's all I can say. I don't blame the country. People say fail Malaysia. Jangan kata fail state. Ya Allah. Malaysia kan ada nyawa. Dia kan ada badan apa kan, kita yang menghidupkan dia, mematikan dia. So kalau everything is failing, it's a failed government. Jadi saya orang kata, you have hope for Malaysia. Of course, it's a blessed country. The people who govern it understand how to optimize the potential. Alhamdulillah, insyaAllah, things will turn out better. Tapi selagi kita macam ni juga, I'm sorry lah, kita belakang lah jalan. Undur. Kalau nak berpolitik hari-hari kan, kalau yang nak diambil tu kawan-kawan, saudara mara, hari-hari kita dengar corruption, MACC tak ada kerja lain, cukup sana kiri kanan depan belakang. Allah, risau. And that doesn't give us a good picture.
Yeah.
Environment, who wants to go to a corrupt country? We are number 1 in the world.
So on that word corruption,
Yeah.
it has always been associated with Malaysian politics. When you hear the word corruption, what comes to your mind then and now?
Education dulu. If you do not start at the lowest level, teaching values about life to the young, how do you start? Jangan mencuri. Saya sekolah convent, Jar 2, Jar 3.
TBN
Dia
kan?
ada TBN. Nan, sister tu kan yang pakai hijab dia tu, cara dia tu. Dia kata, dia ni moral dia panggil. Dia kata, kalau kata lesson tu on honesty. Saya nak quote ni memang real life story. Dia kata, ni Jar 2. Dia kata, if you see 5 cent coin on the floor, don't take it. Because that may be somebody's bus fare home, dulu 5 sen dah sampai dah. Ataupun somebody's recess money. Duit tak banyak kan, 5 sen tu cukup lah nak beli something basah ketekak. So if you take the money and for yourself, somebody is not able to go home, have to walk home or whatever, or not able to eat at recess. Maybe she has 10 cent but 5 cent drop. You know what I mean? So what do? If you're honest, you take the money, go to teacher will announce who lost 5 cent. And the girl say, I lost. Return balik. That was honesty. You ajar macam tu sudahlah. Ini tak. Saya tahu dia ajar. Macam ketika. Saya yang wakil rakyat kan. Pergilah kampung mana, adalah kelas tadika, semua pakai tudung lah. Budak ni 4-5 tahun baru kan, belum masuk sekolah. Dah pakai bini telekung semua. Dia punya nasyid apa? Ingatlah kamu, esok mati. Lepas tu saya berucap. Saya kata tolonglah jangan ajar budak ni esok mati tu. Dia belum sekolah lagi. Dia bukan tadika. Kenapa tak ajar dia lagu yang menaikkan semangat dia. Belajarlah rajin. Kan? Buatlah bakti di dunia. Macam itulah kan? Teguhkan iman tak apa. Tapi maknanya janganlah pesan suruh mati. Kita dah tua bangka dia suruh pesan. Budak 4-5 tahun pesan kat makcik-makcik tok-tok ni. Ingatlah kamu akhirat dunia mati esok. Ya Allah. Saya tegur. Peduli apa? Saya tegur kat cikgu. Jangan ajar budak ni. Dia belum hidup lagi. Nak cakap pasal mati. Nak ajar kita yang tua ni ingatkan mati. Can you imagine? See? The content of curriculum. So, start daripada nurturing kat sekolah dari segi ni, values, principle. Jadi kalau kita kata kalau menipu start dekat sekolah, menipu, cheating kan, tiru, start macam tu lah. Saya belajar macam tu kat sekolah. Geng-geng saya semua bila kita bercerita, sama cerita kita. Ingat tak dulu cikgu tu, ingat tak pesanan macam mana? Sampai tua kita bawa balik tu nilai dan values tu. Tapi sekarang tak diajar dah, tak ada dah. Tak diajar. Ajar agama. Agama bukan kerja cikgu. Agama separate. Agama tak boleh diajar dalam sekolah kerana sekolah kita multiracial. Agama patutnya khaskan untuk agama. Kan? Mak bapak kena bertanggungjawab.
So did certain educational messages get lost? Sorry, I got a sound problem. Did certain educational messages that you just mentioned, did they get lost with certain individuals in power? I mean, I'm not talking about anybody specific. No, I think you know what I'm talking about.
They hijack education for their political, what do you call this, for the political football lah, I'll use education. Then one group use agama for their political pawn, whatever they want to use, political weapon lah. Some use bahasa. Malay language. They want to catch everything lah. Yang agama oriented dapat. Yang ni dah. Pecah belah lah. So there's no focus. Whereas other countries don't have these hang-ups, about what religion are you, what bangsa are you, right? Dia bangsa Indonesia aja, padahal dia lagi ramai kat situ. The Chinese. Dia tak cakap dia Chinese. Dia sama dia. You pergi Indonesia, tak percaya, dengarlah dia pergi restoran. 10 orang duduk kan. Tok, nenek. Cakap Indonesian. Sepatah tak ada bahasa Cina. Bahasa Tionghoa. Pasal dia dididik cara begitu. Not that they cannot, tapi dia biasakan. Of course, they talk English. Indon and English. Tapi kena pusing. Itu Cina tu. You see? So they become competitive because they have the best of both worlds.
Fair point. Yeah.
You see? So why not we do that in school? Complete restructuring of not education policy. Policy boleh karang. Education, infrastructure, content, delivery. Everybody talk about policies. Oh, nak cerita polisi ni. Oh, Melayu dulu. Macam tu polisi lah tu kan. Infrastructure, content, delivery and teaching of teachers. Training of teachers. Tak gunalah cantik infrastructure yang nak mengajar tu sekarang. Apa pun dia tak tahu kan. Kerana dia tidak di-train in pedagogy orang kata. Teachers training colleges tolong upgrade lah. They should know IT. They should be trained in IT kat sana kan. Ni nak buat virtual school, half-half. Kalau cikgu tak pandai komputer macam mana?
Yeah, learn from the best. Yep.
Exactly. So that's what I mean. Teacher training right down. So you must to do that now. This new normal ni require all this.
Now I've only got a few questions left. Do you have any questions on your side?
No, I think I'm pretty good, and I think apa yang Tan Sri sampaikan, I rasa very loud and clear sebenarnya.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Well,
Something that we should be,
loud, but I don't know if I'm clear.
No, you were clear.
Very. No numbers, meritocracy.
And
No,
forensic.
bukan
Forensic.
number. Tengok, you dah salah faham. I said numbers like
Kena marah nak.
berapa persen ni. Jangan. Kerana kalau you tak analyse apa ceritanya kan.
Yeah.
Okay, I tell you why. How I learn this, ya. Pergi Margaret Thatcher Downing Street dengan Tuan Mahathir. Margaret Thatcher depan I. Oh, cakap-cakap dia kata, agaknya adalah dia punya nota-nota tu statistik kan. I don't really trust the statistics. If not properly analysed. So kata apa pula dia cakap ni? I heard the story. It's a joke lah, tapi she made it macam kata. There's a man who drowned in a river where the average depth of the river was 2 feet. Okay, but you know how the average depth was obtained? By having 20 places marked for depth. 20 feet, 16 feet, 4 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet. Bila average tu jadi 2. Tebing 2. So the man jumped into the 16-foot area. Average. Dia ingat semua. Dia tak faham average itu maknanya sum total divide berapa kali kan.
Yeah.
We all punya ketawa. I dah kata dia ketawa. I lagi besar ketawa kan. Because
That's a good
you
joke.
see,
That's a good
and that's
story.
the kind of leader. No, that's the kind of leader. Jadi maknanya ni orang ni tak boleh nak fool dia lah.
Yep.
You see, nampak bunyi cantik. 8% growth. Yeah, what was last year? -3. Itu dia. You see what I mean? Ketawa Ana. No, that's what I mean. That's how I learned. This is a long time ago Thatcher bila. You ingat lah kan? Bila Thatcher.
Yeah.
I gadap depan tu. Kata, oh my God. Ini leadership. Kita pun belajar lah. Sekarang bukan belajar teaching macam mana. Kita dengar. Orang make sense kan?
Yeah.
Nobody look at her as a woman,
True.
Nama Thatcher je. Correct?
Iron Lady.
Itulah yang saya ingat bagaimana orang berfikir. You can imagine lah, cannot lie to her lah kan?
Can't.
Janganlah buat speed baca macam nak erak kan? Tak jalan dengan Thatcher.
But speaking of leadership, Tan Sri, like I have had the pleasure of emceeing and moderating a few functions over the years lah, when you were there, and there's always a question from the public, and there was always questions during the pandemic that Tan Sri Rafidah Aziz should be the Prime Minister of Malaysia, interim Prime Minister of Malaysia. Well, what's
You know,
your view? What's your views on that? I'm not trying to puji you, but
No, I'm just saying, why is it that people jump to that kind of conclusion, oh, dia cakap tu must be prime. Not necessary. Everybody have got ideas. What we want to do is to have a team of people in government. I never factor myself in. It does not mean when I talk to you macam ni, I teringin, jokat Allah lah. Lillahi ta'ala, tak teringin. 78 dah lah tu. Cukup. I can give pandangan macam ni, If you call me, I give you pandangan. And from my heart. No strings attached, nothing. You know what I mean? Ikhlas. Because it's no point bercakap je kalau tak bagi konstruktif kan.
betul.
So, to me, what we need is in governance, not a prime minister. It's a team of people. There's no one brilliant person anywhere in the world, A person may have vision, some big ideas. It has to be a team to implement it, correct? Kalau team ni cohesive, team ni have like minds, team ni is service oriented, this team is working for the rakyat and the people, not for yourself, not nak bergerak dengan outriders banyak-banyak, Kami dulu tak ada outriders. Ini rupanya menteri sekarang ni outrider 2 cepat minimum ya. Keluar je Putrajaya. I mean, I don't understand that. Tak biasa budaya. I berpuluh tahun dalam government. Tak ada outrider.
True. Well, you're very
So in other words, don't look at me. Look at the necessity for this country, which is having team of people that can actually govern.
Okay. Well, on that note,
But malangnya, the people with that capacity are not interested to join politics because they see politics being so toxic.
true.
Yeah. I joined politics not because I joined. I was brought in. Brought in, like, hey, come in.
Literally, pause. Yeah.
Yeah, Biro Ekonomi dulu. In fact, I was appointed without knowing it. Would you believe it?
Really?
Yes.
Oh, did
Tun
not.
Fatimah. I was welcoming her to my convention Angkasa, for conference, big conference. Tun Razak was going to come to open it. And so I was chairman of organizing committee. We really like itu dia datang. Hai Rafidah. And drag me to the side. Minta maaf lah, sorry. Saya lupa nak cakap kat you. Apa, Datin? Rupanya dah scroll khabar. Mana saya dah sempat. Saya 6.30 sampai kat Dewan Tengku Chancellor. Gambar dah keluar khabar. Tapi awak jangan tolak apa benda tu Datin. Saya dah bubuh awak kat Biro Ekonomi.
Oh, wow.
You see, that's how it will be. I tell you, it was so amusing. Dia drag Jadi, baca itulah kami dulu bila masuk ke muda. I was my 20 something. So, I thought, okay lah. Sini orang percaya pada kita kan. So, masuklah wanita UMNO. Macam itulah. Bukan kata, I want to join, nak cari tempat. Ya Allah. Tak ada. And then Tun Razak me senator at the age of 30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
74.
My God.
And then bila Tun Husim she appointed me for 1 year sebagai parlimen. Lepas tu Deputy Minister of Finance. Tak tahu pun. All this by phone call aja.
The good old.
Di Johor di mana? Tak ada Johor. Dia kata, Rafidah, where are you? I'm in Johor. What are you doing there? I said, I'm at the federal scheme. Kita kerja kan. Better come back, rupanya kita nak get promotion, nak bertanding. Things like, so the culture where we never seek. We were given. Jadi kalau culture macam itu kita guna sekarang, you can imagine how many bright professionals yang ada ni can be brought into politics on their merit tau.
Okay.
Men or women. Don't you think so?
No, I do think so, because that led me to my next question. In your opinion, can a team of technocrats led by a chief technocrat run Malaysia?
Well, I don't want to be macam America, left wing, right wing, middle wing, tak payah.
All the wings. Yeah.
Body. We just want a team of people who are not politically oriented.
Okay.
Politics tu is by the by. Dah masuk tu kita masuk lah. And then kalau orang calonkan kita, okay, tak payahlah marhaban pergi round nak campaign. Tak ambil. Menang our second highest vote majlis tinggi. Tuku Ridaudin nombor 1. Both of us sama je perangai Nak pergi banyak kerja, banyak nak pergi keluar. Tiba-tiba second highest. Maknanya kalau orang recognize, dia undi. So, we have to change the political culture. Kalau political culture ni berebut-rebut, takut anak-anak muda ni, kan? Dia berebut sama dia. Tikam belakang sini, tikam depan ada. So, it's toxic politics. So, you drive away good young people.
Agree.
Okay. And Tan Sri, one final question. I've always wanted to ask you this. This has been in me for the last 10 years. Hannah doesn't know I'm going to ask this question. When I interviewed you many years ago, and I'm not going to say the TV station, I asked you one solid question. You gave the most smangat, powerful answer out there, but the TV station edited it out. So tonight, there's no excuse for editing. Like, we were speaking about entrepreneurship. We were speaking about how you, and I remember in the interview you said, I help build entrepreneurs. And entrepreneurs came up to you and said, "Look, thank you for making me my first million." And you said, "Look, I didn't go out with the intention of helping you. I was trying to help everybody. The whole forensic macro approach." And then I said to you, Tan Sri, what do you say to those people who would say to you, you made the wrong people rich? So 10 years later, I'm asking that question again.
I didn't make anybody rich or poor. Whoever was successful because they were, first of all, they had entrepreneurship. Ya, kalau talking about entrepreneurs lah, whether they exporters, whether they are entrepreneur ni macam-macam tau. Whether they're factory, whether they're selling abroad, they are the right people with entrepreneurship and the acumen. But the policies we had at MITI enable them to grow, enable them to find markets. We brought them along in our delegations to meet foreign buyers, to meet foreign importers. These are the scenes that behind the back, orang tak tahu. Most of them, 99% tak kenal pun.
Right.
Why should I kenal? I don't need to kenal anybody. But we have a booklet, gambar dia ada. So that I know kan dia jumpa kat kapal terbang kan, sombong pula kita kan. Padahal dia delegation kita. Ya, come on lah. Muka kenal muka semua orang kan.
Yeah.
Tengok dulu dalam kapal terbang. So, dia ni factory dia ni. Macam tu lah. Yeah. So, when you know, and then my staff would make sure dia pergi kat situ tu berhasil. Nak joint venture, jangan mahaban cari je tak. Kita check dulu kat sana, siapa yang serius daripada chambers. American Chamber, sini ada chamber kan, dia pun contact sana, association dia, ini. Nak datang delegation Malaysia, they're going to have clinics. Property industry, whatever industry lah kan, kita break down. Okay, how many of your people? So our man ni jumpa lah 10 orang intern ni, dia discuss dia nak buat projek apa, bla bla bla, macam tu. So when we have this breakout clinics, they get the rap. Itu yang dia datang jumpa saya, dia kata terima kasih banyak lah. Kalau exporter, dia kata saya dah dapat $6 million contract, Alhamdulillah, syukur, because we match it up with the buyer.
Business.
Kalau dia joint venture project, dia datang terima kasih saya. Bukan terima kasih saya personally, dia kata terima kasih pada MITI but led by you, kata dia. Terima kasih lah, tapi yang buat kerja pegawai saya.
Yeah. And on that,
you see, we got the enterprise awards every year, daripada private sector, MITI. Because our client charter is to help them. Help the country. Employment, remember the trickle down effect.
Yeah.
Bukan payah friends, tak perlu, they're Malaysians. Every Malaysian is a friend of ours.
That's right. And last note, Tan Sri, I know I said last note last time, but this time it is the last note. I don't want to use the word advice because that's a cliche word, but I'm just going to leave the audience with 3 words, or maybe 4 words, towards a progressive Malaysia, regardless of age. What should we do on that notion? Towards a progressive Malaysia.
Tak cukup lah tu, jangan buat slogan.
It's not being a slogan. I want...
Jangan ambil. Towards a united Malaysia dulu. Kalau Malaysia macam ini bickering all round dalam politik semua, bila nak progresif? Aku nak gebuk aku punya. Right. So towards a united progressive Malaysia.
There
Thank
you
you for the
go.
correction.
Ya, progresif hari ni tak, regresif ada, progresif tak. Tapi kalau united, alhamdulillah. Because we are like-minded, you know. You may be different party, doesn't matter. I don't look at people. Dulu kita opposition ada. I tak pandang dulu yang siang tu bercakap elok aja boleh gelak ketawa. Awak parti awak, but we want to work for the country kan.
Yeah.
Kadang-kadang opposition tanya saya, ni ada soalan ni kan, I know I got soalan there, but I want to ask you, ini. So I explain, then I don't have to, soalan tambahan lah. Since you tell me already. Can you imagine talking with the opposition? Opposition cakap dengan I, bukan I tanya dia datang. You know my main question kan? Ni yang berhormat macam mana ni? Apa ni? I say, okay, then I don't ask any more supplementary lah. You see, dia tak ada nak populariti tau. Yang dia hendaknya kerajaan buat apa yang dia tanya tu. Kita dah buat. So, that was how we treated the opposition. That's why yelah, opposition. Tapi, but I mean, there's no personal about it. Nak maki-maki
Respectful lah.
orang.
Respectful.
Tak ada. Ha?
Respectful way.
Oh yeah, saya dengan Tan Sri lagi. We were together in the University Senate.
Nice.
You see? No, I'm telling you.
No,
That's how we were. I was very young, of course kan. Tapi what I mean is that there is working together. Pilihan raya cerita lain. But they win their seats as well. You see? And then finally we got together lah. National kan. Okay, habis.
Look, Tan Sri, thank you so much for your time. I mean, we learned a lot. We did learn a lot.
Yep.
Hannah and I learned a lot. The words united, forensic, plan, long-term, strategic, ability.
Nanti dulu, plan without the implementation tak jadi ya.
Okay. Plan dash implementation.
Yes. And policy without policy measures pun tak jadi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Economics 101 right here. So thank you, Tan Sri, for your
Malaysian
time.
first, betul.
And we look forward to any time that you want to share your views, tell a good story. Please come back to Great People TV. You've been
Always
great.
welcome.
May not be good story lah kadang-kadang
No,
kan.
it's always a good story with you. It's always a good story with you.
It's
So
always a good joke, even though you know it's not a good joke, but it's always a good joke.
Yelah, I'm talking to you, I'm not making a speech.
betul, you are talking to us. Yep.
We are having a conversation.
Exactly.
True.
All that's missing is
I've been
P.
lecturing to people kat university pun I make joke with my staff, my students. I'm talking to you and to your audience, virtual.
Betul. Okay.
So why should I talk differently to you?
Please don't change. Thank you so
It's a
much for
pleasure,
being you.
seriously.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
Thanks, Tan Sri.
Thank you so
We'll catch
much,
up soon,
Tan
yeah?
Sri.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. Bye-bye.
Assalamualaikum.
Bye. Salam.
There you have
Okay.
it, Ben. Very inspirational.
Super interest. Straight shooting.
So many gems shared.
No
And
filtering.
criticism. Yep, tak ada filter, tak ada apa.
Okay.
And good
Dengar.
jokes as well, Masya
Tak
Allah.
ada. Anyone who speaks from the heart don't need to filter.
Betul?
Oh, Tan Sri has not left the building. Still here.
Okay,
No,
Ben.
do you filter when you talk to your family?
No. Sometimes yes, because it's too blunt.
No, blunt lain. I mean, the way you say it, doesn't make it so blunt kan.
Betul?
You don't have swear word, curse
Tak
words.
ada.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Downright honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you say it jokingly, but it's a message there. You're speaking. It doesn't matter whom you're speaking to.
Okay.
Takkanlah nak cakap pasal negara dah lain berubah pula, suara pun dah lain. Cerita ni. Hipokrit lah. Pakai serban kan cakap lain. Sampai bribery pun dihalalkan kan. See? Is that the way to do it? Come on lah. I cannot stand that.
Fair enough. Yeah, true. So we're just gonna close the show, Tan Sri.
Panggil lah orang ni bercakap. Dia dengar apa dia cakap. Panggil dia. Yang halal haram, panggil dia.
Takut. Anyway, Tan Sri, terima kasih banyak-banyak. Satu sesi yang sangat-sangat berharga dan banyak sebenarnya kami belajar daripada hari ini. Thank you so much. Please do come again. It's been a joy to have
Yes.
talk with you, to have you in our show, Ben.
Yeah, very much so, Tan Sri. Thanks again for coming on our show. Thanks for being
You, thank
responsive
you.
to the email.
Kalau ada sekali lagi, kalau I kata yes, tolong remind me early ya. Jadi
Okay.
jangan I delete lagi dalam
Baik,
phone.
Yeah,
insyaAllah.
please don't delete me
Tan
from your
Sri,
schedule.
salah silap minta maaf tau. Salah silap minta maaf, okay?
No problem. Apa semula.
Okay. Kita jumpa nanti
Okay,
tau.
thank you.
Thanks,
Alright,
Tan.
Okay,
bye-bye.
Assalamualaikum. Bye.
Assalamualaikum.
Yalah, mana ni?
Wow.
Hmm.
Still more to share before we left. But look, thank you so much, Tan Sri. And I think we learned something tonight about statistics, forensics, and
I think we break lots of ice today. Walaupun initially I rasa macam, okay ni Tan Sri Rafidah nak bercakap ni. Tapi Masya Allah, slowly I dah faham. I dah faham dia punya character and how she thinks tau. Masya Allah.
Yeah. Now, well, one thing I mean, I've been fortunate that I've interviewed her before. She shoots straight and doesn't hold anything back. So that's what we want. And thank you to all our viewers tonight who left questions and comments.
Yep.
You know, they were very
Appreciate
good
it, guys.
questions. And we're going to continue. But don't worry, we're going to continue to keep working hard to bring quality guests like Tan Sri, Tun, Aflin Shauki, Yvonne Chapman, John Beasley. We're working very hard, not just Malaysian guests, but guests from overseas as well. And thank you to all the people who left comments tonight. So don't forget, you can win a prize as promised. Yes, that from AccuAnswer, our sponsor, our client. So this is the question, and now we'll translate it in Bahasa Melayu sekejap lagi. During Tan Sri's career, she was an MP, MP being member of parliament, of which constituency? I repeat the question again. During Tan Sri's career, she was a member of parliament, but which constituency? Nah?
Ya, di bahagian manakah Tan Sri Rafidah menyandang jawatan sebagai ahli parlimen? Bahagian mana? Jadi, letakkan jawapan anda sekarang dan kami akan pilih pemenangnya. Siapa yang paling cepat, kami akan pilih pemenangnya dan anda layak untuk menerima giveaway daripada kami. Disponsor oleh siapa, Ben?
AccuAnswer.
There you go. Okay.
That's right. So thank you, everyone. Terima kasih. Be safe, be well, and stay. I mean, we keep saying stay safe, but please, really, really stay safe. Just because things are a bit more relaxed doesn't mean we must all not be careful. We must all continue to be careful. So we'll catch you next week on the next episode of Great People TV, where we will have a quality guest, and look out for Hana's Instagram, my Instagram, and we will tease you who that guest will be. But until then, Assalamualaikum, take care, and thanks for watching Great People TV.